Simon loved to draw. He would have liked to draw all the time, and occasionally he would even draw on the fence on the way to school. But he never finished anything he did. He was lazy. One morning, on his way to school, he had a surprise. He found a strange figure waiting for him by the fence. Simon recognized it at once. "Why, you're the drawing I did yesterday." The figure nodded. "I am indeed, and if you'll be so kind as to complete me, I would like to take you somewhere." So Simon took a piece of chalk out of his pocket and gave the figure an eye, an arm, and finished his clothes. Simon was proud of his work. "I'll call you, Henry, after my uncle, Archibald Henry," he decided. The figure thanked him and beckoned Simon to follow him. "This is fun," thought Simon. "Better than school. I have to work there." But he was wrong, as you'll see. "Come on," said Henry. "This is the land of chalk drawings," Simon's strange companion informed him. Simon gazed about him. "It's beautiful, but why does everyone look so unhappy?" Henry looked mysterious. "You'll see." The train driver was waiting for Simon. "To be able to see what you have to do," gestured the driver, "we will have to use the train." Well, Simon looked about him. "But it has no lines to run on." The driver frowned. You forgot to draw them when you drew the train. We can't go on until you do, and we have a long way to go." "Oh, well, this will take hours and hours," thought Simon. Hours and hours. And the guard blew his whistle. Standing by the track, a little way along, was a group of melancholy animals. Simon remembered drawing them one day when he'd been at home with the cold. "I've got no tail to wag," growled the dog. "I've no whiskers," meowed the cat. "And we've no wings for flying," cheeped the birds. "I can't swim without webbed feet," quacked the duck. "And where are my giant floppy ears?" trumpeted the elephant. Well, Simon felt so ashamed. He set to work immediately to finish all those drawings. Henry was looking for Simon and wanted to show him some more of the land of chalk drawings. And Simon glanced at his watch. "I must go, or I'll be late for school, but I promise to come back tomorrow." Well, the train was ready. He and his friends jumped in, and together they went back to the fence where the adventure had started. Simon waved as he left them. "I'll come back tomorrow, and I've learned never to leave a drawing unfinished again." He walked on to school, happily thinking of his new adventures.
Take me over, climb the ladder.
Simon had promised to meet Henry, his chalk drawing friend, by the fence, and as he walked along, he wondered what sort of adventure awaited him. Henry was impatient. "Come on, Simon, you have some more of your unfinished drawings to complete. Come on." Up you come. Hello, how are you? Oh, I'd better hurry. The train's waiting. Hello, Simon. Simon frowned. It was his teacher, just as Simon had drawn him the day before. But the teacher was not very pleased. "When you drew me, you forgot to give me any books. I can't teach properly without books." So Simon drew him some books, and the teacher looked pleased. "Thank you, Simon. Thank you. Now that I have some books, I'll give you a lesson." Simon thought that was rather unfair, and was sorry he'd finished that drawing. After all, he was still on his way to school. But when the teacher wasn't looking, he rubbed all the books out and ran off. Simon made his way to the train. Ooh, he shivered. Ooh, it's rather cold here. A nearby flower heard him. "Yes, that's because you haven't given the sun his rays." One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lots of lovely rays. There's a 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's better. Well, it's certainly warmer now. And Henry agreed with him. "Yes, it is. And you're going to get warmer still. You've got the biggest task of all at the hospital." "Whatever can that be?" thought Simon. At the hospital, Henry looked at Simon sternly. "All these children are here because you left them unfinished. You see, they can't go out to play like you." Simon set to work immediately to finish the drawings. When he'd finished, he felt very satisfied because the children were running and skipping. "Let's go out and play!" So they all went outside to play, and the sun shone, and Simon joined in the games. Oh! Ooh. Suddenly the school bell rang, and the teacher appeared. "Time for school, children!" Simon was dismayed. He'd been enjoying himself so much, he'd forgotten the time. Now he'd be late for school. Simon hurried back to the fence. Waving goodbye, he said, "I'll come back." Then he hurried on to school. He was late, of course. But when he arrived, he found that there were no lessons because all the books had mysteriously vanished. Now, wasn't that peculiar? This is Simon, and he loves to draw things. After reading a book about soldiers, he drew some soldiers on his blackboard. But once he'd drawn them, he forgot all about them. He had other things on his mind. Next day, it was his music lesson. He played the triangle in the school orchestra. As he packed, he gave a sigh. I wish I played another instrument. I always feel so babyish playing a triangle. On his way to school, he met his friend from the land of chalk drawings. Henry had an urgent request for Simon. You must come back with me now. Something has happened in the land of chalk drawings. Simon agreed to go. He enjoyed visiting the land of chalk drawings. He didn't realize a shock was in store for him when he arrived. Come on, come on. There's nobody here. The land of chalk drawings is deserted. Henry corrected him. There is someone. Look, over there. Look. Simon looked and gasped with surprise. Why, those are the soldiers I drew yesterday on my blackboard. And they're making everyone do military drill. Simon was right. The fierce sergeant was shouting orders to all the other figures. To the dog, the birds, and the children, even the flowers and the sun. Simon was so busy watching that he didn't see the sentry creep up behind him. And Simon was marched off to do drill with all the others. On the way, he noticed the soldiers' rifles all stacked up. Simon had an idea. When the sentry wasn't looking, he took his piece of chalk and quickly changed all the rifles into musical instruments. At that moment, the soldiers came over, looking for their rifles. Well, you can imagine how surprised they were to find their rifles had gone. Instead, they picked up trumpets, drums, cymbals, and the sergeant had a huge euphonium. The soldiers tried them out. At first, the noise was terrible. Gradually, the soldiers improved. And soon they were marching round the ground in a grand parade, the like of which had never been seen in the land of chalk drawings. Simon took his chalk and drew a bandstand. And everyone in the land of chalk drawings admired Simon as he conducted the band. But soon it was time for Simon to leave for school. The band led the way. Waving goodbye, Simon headed for school. And he thought, playing a triangle in the school orchestra doesn't seem so bad now. And after all, I'm a real musician. I've just conducted a band. And Simon hurried on, humming the tune that the band had played. whenever Simon had the chance, he loved to draw. After he'd seen the moon rocket on television, he decided to design a moon rocket for himself. His friend next door didn't think much of it. That rocket will never fly. Anyway, you haven't drawn the moon. So Simon drew the moon. And he told his friend his rocket could fly, but his friend just laughed. Next day, Simon met Henry from the land of chalk drawings. "Simon, you must come. There's a strange thing in the land of chalk drawings." Well, Simon went along with him. There, in the middle of the land of chalk drawings, was Simon's moon rocket. "This is the very latest moon rocket. I invented it myself, and I'm about to journey into space. Anyone like to come?" Well, the chalk drawings didn't seem very keen, but Henry agreed to go. Simon worked the controls. There was a mighty bang, and Simon's moon rocket was off on its first journey into space. Up through the clouds they went until they approached the sun. The sun greeted them warmly. "My, it's nice to have company. I get so lonely up here. Nobody bothers much these days." Well, Simon would like to have stopped longer, but he had to leave. "Sorry, son, can't stop. I've got the whole universe to explore. We'll chat another time." The sun watched Simon disappear. "Oh dear, I'm on my own again." Well, the rocket flew on until it reached the moon. Simon brought it down for a perfect landing. When Simon and Henry looked out, they got a nasty shock. They found themselves surrounded. Henry was dismayed. "We can't fight. We're outnumbered." And he was right. They were surrounded by sums and taken prisoner. The chief sum addressed Simon. "We are planning to invade the land of chalk drawings, but we need more sums. You must make them for us with these numbers." So Simon set to work making sums. But he had a clever idea. Instead of using the plus sign, he drew the takeaway sign instead. So the sum turned into nothing, just a naught. In fact, Simon turned all the sums into nothing until only the chief sum was left. Well, before the chief sum could stop them, Simon and Henry loaded all the noughts into the rocket. And now Simon took off. Up went the rocket and headed for home. Simon wondered what the chalk drawing people would say when they saw what he'd brought back from the moon. Simon smiled to himself. Perhaps they'd just say he'd brought nothing back, because that's exactly what he had brought. Lots and lots of nothing.
Take me over, climb
Simon had been drawing again. The moon rocket he designed himself was bringing him back from the moon with his friend Henry, and all the noughts that Simon had taken from the sons who tried to capture him. Simon and Henry felt very proud when they were welcomed back to the land of chalk drawings. Simon unloaded all the noughts and presented them to the chalk drawing people. Everyone was pleased, of course, because a present is a present. But they were a bit puzzled because they weren't quite sure what to do with them. The girls tried them on as bracelets. Some of them played hoopla. The dog became an acrobat. The boys bowed them along as hoops, and some tried to stand on them. Some played catch. He lost it, and the bird found it. Well, while all this was going on, the sun was watching sadly. Dear, oh dear, I'm so lonely up here. No one ever bothers to come and talk to me. Well, Simon saw the sun looking sad, and he had an idea. He and Henry collected up some of the noughts and put them back in the rocket. Up they flew again off into space, and Simon steered towards the sun. Don't worry, son. These noughts that I captured on the moon are going to help to stop you being lonely. The sun was very puzzled. What is that fellow Simon doing? All these noughts round me just clutter up the place. Now Simon called all the birds in the land of chalk drawings and spoke to them. The sun is very lonely. He would just love someone to talk to. I want you all to fly up there and keep him company. Well, the birds shook their heads. Well, we'd love to, Simon, but when we get up there, there's nowhere to perch. Well, Simon chuckled. Don't you worry about perches. You fly up to the sun and you won't have any trouble. The birds set off. Up they flew until they reached the sun. And when they saw the noughts, they knew what Simon meant. And when the sun saw the birds perched round him, he smiled more brightly than he'd done for years. That fellow Simon's not so silly after all. Now, tell me, how's your father keeping? And the sun and the birds talked, talked, and talked. Meanwhile, back in the land of chalk drawings, Simon said goodbye to Henry and left on the train. He passed the rocket and looked at it, pleased and proud. His friend next door had said his rocket would never fly, but Simon had been to the sun and the moon and back. And only really good rockets go that far. On his holiday, Simon visited some caves. He came out disappointed. The caves were dull and boring. I wish I'd lived there with cavemen in prehistoric times, when it was interesting. Then he had an idea. I know. I'll draw a cave with a caveman in it, and he can help me to explore. So when he got home, Simon drew a cave and caveman on his blackboard. The next day, Simon hurried to the land of chalk drawings. He went straight past Henry and the other children. "Sorry, can't stop to play today, sorry." Simon arrived at the cave he had drawn, but there was no sign of the caveman. Simon decided to explore by himself. Shining his torch, he crept in. As he went in deeper, he accidentally dropped his piece of chalk. He didn't notice the mysterious hand pick his chalk up. Suddenly, Simon heard running footsteps behind him, and seconds later, the caveman appeared, gasping for breath.
"Oh, quick, hide. Great hairy monsters are chasing me."
Simon and the caveman hid behind a rock. The noise grew louder, and then, straight past them galloped the biggest animals Simon had ever seen. Prehistoric animals, a buffalo, a rhinoceros, and a mammoth. And they disappeared deeper into the cave. The caveman was terrified.
Talk about magic. There I was, drawing on the wall with this chalk I found, and darn my dinosaurs if the drawings didn't come to life.
Simon looked at the caveman's chalk and gave a gasp.
Why, that's my chalk. No wonder they came to life.
Well, just then, they heard the animals returning. Simon suddenly realized something.
They mustn't get out into the land of chalk drawings. No knowing what damage they'll do. We've got to stop them.
Simon ran towards the entrance, the caveman following, almost out of breath.
Oh, dear. Why did I have to draw big Ice Age animals and not little ones? Oh.
Simon gave a cry. Oh, I'm glad you told me we were in the Ice Age. You've given me an idea how we can stop them. When they reached the entrance, Simon waved at his friend the sun, and the sun smiled back. "Shine down here, sun, as hot as you can." Well, the sun shone down on the cave, hotter and hotter. And before long, the whole Ice Age hillside began to melt. Soon the cave and everything in it had vanished. The caveman quickly made friends with the other chalk drawing people. And as Simon went over to play with Henry and the children, he breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness I didn't live in prehistoric times, with all those monsters about. I'm glad I live in modern times after all.
Well, you know my name is Simon, and the
Simon came back from the seaside, he realised the children in the land of chalk drawings had never seen the sea. So Simon drew the sea on his blackboard. He drew lots of other things too. Next day he met his friend Henry, and they went to the land of chalk drawings. Simon led Henry to the seaside, and there was the boat Simon had drawn. They decided to go for a row. Suddenly, Henry noticed something.
Simon, look, shark fins all round us.
Well, Henry rowed hard, but they weren't looking where they were going, and they crashed right into a desert island. They were stranded. As they sat under the coconut tree, there was a bang, and a cannon just missed their heads. It hit the tree trunk so hard that all the coconuts fell and buried them. Helpless, they watched the pirate ship approaching. Captain Cutlass was delighted.
Ha ha ha! 2 more slaves to help to row our ship. Ah, take 'em below, me hearties.
Well, Simon and Henry were led to the galley. It was filled with children who'd been captured playing in the sea. And now everyone was made to row. As he rowed, Simon had an idea. When no one was looking, he rubbed out all the blades on the oars so they couldn't reach the water. Well, naturally, the ship stopped moving. Captain Cutlass was furious.
Shiver me timbers, all me oars have shrunk. I'm up the creek without a paddle. Right, you'll all walk the plank for this.
But one by one, Simon and his friends walked the plank. Right at the end, Simon remembered his piece of chalk. And quickly he drew the plank longer and longer and longer. All his friends hurried to the shore where the chalk drawing people were gathered. The angry pirates began to follow, but Simon whispered to the elephant, and the elephant walked back towards the ship. Simon gave the pirates a warning. If you don't leave, the elephant will jump in your ship and sink it. And look what's waiting in the water if you do sink. Captain Cutlass looked.
Shiver me timbers, sharks. Heave to, me hearties. We're not staying here.
As the pirates left, Henry turned to Simon. Well, you certainly drove them off, Simon, but it would have been awful if they had sunk and been eaten by those sharks you drew. Simon smiled mysteriously. He reached out and grabbed a fin as it passed. When he lifted it out, what do you think was there? Nothing. You see, Henry, there are no sharks, just fins. I only drew the fins. Henry and the chalk drawing people laughed and clapped at the way Simon had tricked the pirates. Now they could all enjoy the seaside in peace.
True.
Simon was in the reptile house at the zoo. He was fascinated by the chameleon, which could change colour to match its background. He thought about it all the way home. When he got home, he drew a chameleon on his blackboard. Next day he met Henry from the land of chalk drawings. "Simon, you must come. Something odd is happening." So Simon went with Henry to the land of chalk drawings. It looked peaceful enough, but then Simon saw something peculiar. The elephant picked a bunch of bananas, and a banana came to life. It flicked out a long tongue and frightened the elephant so much that he knocked over a tree. It was, of course, the chameleon, disguising himself as a banana. He ran off, chuckling. The cat was asleep in a tree. He was woken up by a flicking tongue. He was so surprised that he fell off the branch. The chameleon again. He was having fun. And a bird who sat down to rest had to perch elsewhere. And so did another one. Off ran the chameleon. The teacher, talking to a pupil, got a shock. The chalk drawing people complained to Simon. "No one can catch the chameleon because he disguises himself so cleverly," grumbled Henry. Well, Simon knew he had to do something. So he went home, and he thought, and he thought, and suddenly he had an idea. He drew on his blackboard and then hurried back to the land of chalk drawings. There was his new drawing, a Scotsman in full Highland dress, tartan from head to kilt. "Hoots, mon, I'm Hamish McHamish, you ken." Hamish went to the wood where they thought the chameleon was and spread out his tartan blanket. Then he lay down and went to sleep. Well, sure enough, the chameleon couldn't resist trying to surprise Hamish, so he crept onto the blanket. But the tartan blanket had so many colours, the chameleon found it difficult to change colour to match it. He puffed and he panted, and finally managed to turn tartan. Now he was disguised. Hamish woke up. The tartan chameleon flicked out his tongue to surprise him, but Hamish only laughed. The chameleon walked away, disappointed. Then, when he tried to change himself back to normal, he found he couldn't. It was too difficult. The chameleon looked so sad that Simon and Hamish felt sorry for him. As the chameleon now had the McHamish tartan, Hamish McHamish decided to make him an honorary member of the clan. Simon was glad to go home, leaving everyone happy. When Simon visited the zoo again, he saw the real chameleon. Simon spoke to the keeper. "Is there such a thing as a tartan chameleon?" The keeper laughed. "Impossible, no chameleon could change into so many colours." Simon smiled to himself. He knew differently, didn't he?
Well, you know my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. Oh, pictures take me over, climb the ladder with you. Well, you know my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. Oh, pictures take me over, climb the ladder with you.
Simon had been naughty. His mother ticked him off, and Simon began to sulk. His mother found him later, still sulking. "Still here, Simon. If only you could see yourself sulking. You do look a sight." Simon looked at himself in the mirror, and he drew himself sulking on his blackboard. Later, feeling better tempered, Simon went for a walk, and he met Henry, his chalk drawing friend. "Simon, there's trouble in the land of chalk drawings. Will you come?" So he followed Henry to the land of chalk drawings, and there Simon saw the strangest sight. The elephant had 5 trunks. The cat had prickles like a hedgehog. Wow! The dog had 3 tails and didn't know which to wag. The birds had too many wings and couldn't fly properly. The flowers in the field were all drooping. Simon was puzzled. "Why are all you flowers looking so miserable?" The flowers pointed at the sun. "Haven't you noticed, Simon? The sun has lots more rays and the heat is killing us." Simon looked at everything and was very puzzled. He and Henry met the caveman and the little dinosaur. They were standing outside a whole line of caves. The caveman was angry because he didn't know which cave was his. Then Simon heard an angry quacking and went to the duck pond. The ducks were upset because there were huge waves on the pond. The teacher called Simon. "Just come and look at my classroom." Simon went to the classroom. All the desks and chairs had been lengthened so that the children couldn't reach them to work. The children were let out to play instead. The train driver was very angry and called Simon. Simon wanted to go after the culprit on the train, but he found it had square wheels. What's more, the track had been altered. Simon and Henry followed the railway track, and there, at last, they caught up with the culprit. It was Simon's double, still sulky, who was altering everything with his chalk. Simon asked him for the chalk. His double refused. "No, I want it. I like changing the drawings and mixing everything up." So Simon took his own chalk and drew a picture frame round his double. The double tried to get out, but he couldn't. Helpless, the double agreed to behave. So Simon drew a smile on his face. And now his double ran off happily to join his friends, the children, who liked him because he got them off school. Simon was very relieved. "I promised to keep smiling and not sulk in future, Henry." Henry looked doubtful. "Don't forget you've got to change all the drawings back to normal, Simon." And Simon found it hard to look happy when he saw all that work in front of him.
Well, you know my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. Oh, pictures take me over, climb the ladder with you. Well, you know my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. Oh, pictures take me over, climb the ladder with you.
Simon was enjoying himself, drawing on his blackboard, but he had to stop. It was time for his music lesson. On his way, Simon met Henry, his chalk drawing friend. "Simon, someone very sad needs cheering up. Can you help?" Simon was happy to go with Henry to the land of chalk drawings. When they arrived, Henry led him to the wood. Simon could hear some very loud sobbing and crying. And there, in the darkest shadows, was the elephant, looking the picture of misery. "Dear me, whatever's the matter?" The elephant managed to stop crying and asked Simon to listen to something. "There, you hear that? That's what's making me so miserable. You see, I want to be musical, but I only blow one note. The birds sing, the soldiers play instruments, but the only music I can make is one note. You see, everyone laughs." "What did I tell you? I do so want to be musical." Simon felt very sorry for the elephant. Then he had an idea. He took out his chalk and changed the elephant's trunk into a saxophone. And now the elephant could play whatever notes he liked. Simon headed for home, pleased that he'd been able to help. The birds were singing, the band was playing, and everyone was happy. Suddenly, there was the deafening noise of a giant saxophone. Everyone was startled and ran away with their hands over their ears. The elephant was enjoying himself so much he didn't notice how upset everyone was. On and on he marched round the land of chalk drawings, and on went the deafening saxophone music. Simon and the people were at a loss. But before long, the elephant began to get tired and hot, and hungry and thirsty. And then the elephant found he had a problem. As he had no trunk, only a saxophone, he couldn't drink. He couldn't eat either. The elephant became miserable again, more miserable than before, and he couldn't even blow his trunk. He went up to Simon. "Simon, I can play music all right, but I can't eat or drink. I shall starve if you don't do something." So Simon changed the saxophone back into an elephant's trunk again. And Simon had another idea. He talked with the band leader, who gave the elephant some written music. The music had one note for the elephant to play, which fitted in perfectly with the band music. The elephant was musical, after all. And now, while Simon left to go to his own music lesson, the chalk drawing people, instead of laughing at the elephant, clapped and cheered as he played real music with the chalk drawing band.
Well, you know my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. Oh, the pictures take me over, climb the ladder with you. Well, you know my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. Oh, pictures take me over, climb the ladder with you.
One morning, Simon took his football to the land of chalk drawings to play with his friends. The chalk drawing people kicked the ball around and enjoyed themselves. Then the teacher made a suggestion. I think the chalk drawing team should challenge the moon to a proper football match. Simon looked doubtful. The Sums who live on the moon aren't very friendly, but we'll go and ask them. So Simon and Henry got into the moon rocket and blasted off to the moon. When they arrived, the Sums surrounded them, and Simon challenged them to a football match. To his surprise, the chief Sum agreed. Yes, we'll play, but only if we can use our own ball. Simon nodded. The chief Sum looked pleased. Now you'll see how mathematics will triumph, and the moon will win. The Sums team, with their ball, crammed into the rocket, and they flew back to the land of chalk drawings. The football field was ready. The teams were ready. The teacher was ready to be referee. The crowd cheered. The football match soon started. The chalk drawing team soon noticed something very strange. Whenever one of their side tried to kick the ball, it seemed to dodge round them. But when the moon team centre-forward kicked the ball, quite gently, the ball swerved round the defenders right up to the goalkeeper, then it hopped over his head and scored. The chalk drawing people were surprised and grew even more amazed as the ball dodged through them again and scored another goal. The elephant was put in goal, but it made no difference. The ball dodged between his legs. Goal after goal was scored, and the Sums finally won 50-0. The happy Sums returned to the rocket and flew back to the moon. When they got out, Simon turned to the chief Sum. Well, I must admit we were well and truly beaten. You certainly played well. By the way, where's your ball? Oh, dear. We left it on the rocket. Simon turned. I'll get it for you. The chief Sum smiled mysteriously. No need to bother. And he gave a loud whistle. Guess what happened? The Sum's football hopped from the rocket and rolled up to the chief Sum. Simon stared in astonishment. It's not a real ball at all. It's a naught, one of the numbers you Sums are made of. Chief Sum laughed. I told you mathematics would win, didn't I? Simon flew back to the land of chalk drawings, wishing they'd used their own ball. Later on, back at school, his teacher addressed the class. You must all work hard. You can never get on in life without mathematics. And Simon could swear that a naught on the blackboard winked at him.
Well, you know my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. Oh, pictures take me over, climb the ladder with you. Well, you know my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. Oh, pictures take me over, climb the ladder with you. Well, you know my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. Oh, pictures take me over, climb the ladder with you. Well, you know my name is Simon, and the things I draw come true. Oh, pictures take me over.
Simon was at home, disappointed after the Chalk Drawing Land football team had been beaten 50-0 by the Moonsums. Simon wanted to know how to get his own back. He remembered what real football managers do. He took his chalk and, drawing matchstick figures, he planned some clever team moves for the return match. Later on, Simon met his friend Henry in the land of chalk drawings. Henry looked excited. "The return match with the Moonsums is this afternoon, Simon." The two of them hurried to the football pitch. This time, there were several matchstick men in the Chalk Drawing Land team. Simon blew the whistle for a practice. The matchstick figures passed the ball so fast that it was nearly invisible. Simon was delighted. "With that skill and those clever tactics, we'll beat the Moonsums this time." Then Simon and Henry flew to the moon to collect the Moonsums team. When they returned, Simon spoke to the chief sum. "Our team has some new members, and we're using a proper ball this time." The chief sum just smiled. The Moonsums won the toss and chose to play left to right, the same way the matchstick men had been practicing. When Simon kicked off, however, he was horrified to see the matchstick figures kept facing the same way as the sums. When they got the ball, they passed brilliantly and scored into the Chalk Drawing Land's own goal. Simon and his friends couldn't understand it. The matchstick figures passed again and scored in their own goal again. And again. And yet again. By half-time, the score was 30-0, and the Chalk Drawing Land team had no goalkeepers left because the matchstick figures had kicked so hard they were all out of action. Simon went to the ref in dismay. "The Chalk Drawing Land team admits defeat. We want to abandon the match." The Sums cheered. After the Sums had returned to the moon, Simon discussed the disaster with his friends. "I can't understand why those new figures I drew kept scoring into their own net. They were supposed to be using special new tactics." Well, no one knew the answer. So Simon went home, very puzzled. But when Simon saw his drawings on the blackboard, he saw what he'd done. "Oh dear, I was so interested in planning tactics I didn't realize every move was from left to right. No wonder the figures scored into their own goal. They couldn't kick in any other direction." Simon decided there was no need for anyone to learn about his unusual mistake. He rubbed the drawings out. Now the chalk drawing people would never know the answer to the mystery. But we know, don't we?